Welcome to episode 81 of Sport SA Daily Diary. Today we're chatting to Major League Baseball player, South African, Gift Ngoepe. Afternoon, Gift, or afternoon, morning. What is it where you are at the moment?
It is currently afternoon by my side of the world.
How are things going there in the US?
Oh, things are going all right. We're just in a COVID-19 struggle as the rest of the world. We were just waiting on MLB to let us know when baseball can resume. And, for now, just training and enjoying life as much as I can in Florida.
And what's the word in terms of getting back? Is there any date set or is nothing cast in stone yet?
Nothing is set stone yet. They are negotiating amongst the players about salaries and where and how many games they're going to play. So there's still a lot that they still have to talk about and agree on, especially with the players, because as the players are taking the most risk being out there with the COVID-19, obviously. So they're the ones taking the risk and not the owners or the front office of the MLB office. So there's a lot they have to agree upon, but I heard bits and pieces, but July 10th is what they're looking to start. So hopefully they can agree on terms before that.
Okay. And take us back a few years. Baseball, America, it's not what you would expect from a young South African boy.
Yeah, I mean, my dream obviously started, my journey, should I say. My journey started at a very young age where I moved to Randburg at the age of 2-3 years old, where my mom worked. Then I pursued it, as a young boy in South Africa, and I told myself one day I'm going to play in the MLB. And I traveled along. I was blessed enough to travel, the world with baseball. And then I was fortunate enough to be in Italy in 2017, training with major league coaches, getting that experience from, the MLB elite, MLB Europe. It's like an elite camp for European and African guys to participate in the month of August. So they invited me over there, and then they re-invited me in 2018, and that's when the Pittsburgh Pirates saw me, and that's when my journey of becoming a professional baseball player started.
And I mean, just going back again to your early days, you obviously didn't have the easiest of upbringings. Did you play any other sport other than baseball, or was baseball your only love?
No, soccer is actually up there with baseball. I really enjoy playing soccer a lot. I played cricket in school. I really enjoyed it in the beginning. The years, like the primary school days, was fun because it's like 25 overs or 30 overs, so it's like the T20 tournament. So I just go out there and bash balls all day. I mean, I was like a Lance Klusner, So I just bash balls out there all day, every day. Lance Klusner, Chris Gale kind of, play. And then I got to high school. I think I made first team when I was like in the end of grade 9, beginning of grade 10. I made first team cricket, and I just didn't enjoy it. We played one day against Roosevelt High, and we played like a 3-day game, and it was just not fun for me. It was not fun. So I did athletics in school. I played tennis for the C team in Rampart High. So my best friend actually had a tennis court in his backyard, and he taught me how to play. So that's how I developed. I learned how to play tennis, and then I played for the C team in Rampart High, and that's how it started. And then I played one term of hockey, field hockey. So I tried a lot of sports. I played 3 games of rugby. So in grade 12 year, one of my teammates, one of my school friends was like, "Hey, we need a guy to play play a game today. We don't have enough people." So I'm like, "Yeah, sure. Bring me my uniform that I need, and I'll play." So it's a third team, so it can't be that hard. I mean, it's a third team. So I was like, all right, cool. So after school, I went over and I played. I played my first rugby match. I have never played rugby in my life. I've kind of played touch rugby, which is forming the line and not going past it, the forward passing and all that. So I knew the basic rules of rugby, and yeah, I went in there, scored a try that day. That same day that I played for the third team, got moved up to the second team,
Sure.
and scored 2 tries that day too. So, yeah.
Brilliant. So whichever ball you touched, you were good at. Do you feel that all those sports that you did play has helped you with your baseball?
Maybe cricket, since it has a lot of similarities. All the other sports kept me fit for baseball, because I played school sports, and then I came back and played baseball, and then during the evenings I was playing soccer with some men that were practicing soccer at my house after 6:30, 7 o'clock. So I was basically running on the field 24/7, just keeping fit in that way. So the similarities would be cricket helped me more than all the other sports. But if I reverse roles, baseball actually helped me more in cricket, because baseball is such a quick game, and it's, just rapid fire. Whereas cricket, the guy runs over and then he bowls it and he has to bounce it. So you have time to adjust and stuff like that. Where baseball, everything happens in split seconds. So.
Yeah. And you mentioned that you went off to Italy after school. How did you end up there? Because I mean, baseball is not huge in South Africa. So I mean, it was a great move for you, and certainly the start of your career. But how did you actually end up there?
So there's a couple guys that come over. Every year we had a tournament in March. It was the IPT back in my days. Now they call it the NBC, something like that. And then every year there's guys that come over and scout for the MLB Elite Camp, the European camp. And then there's some scouts of MLB teams that also come down to scout out the next African player, and they invited us, and also I think they also asked our organization, so South African Baseball Union. They asked them to put players forward that they think they are good enough to be at these camps. So that's how my name got passed forward, and people noticed me to get an invite to the European MLB camp.
And then October 2008 was a big moment in your life. You got signed by the Pittsburgh Pirates, the first South African to ever be signed by a Major League Baseball team.
I wouldn't say I'm the first person to be signed from South Africa. There's been people before me that have signed. There's a lot of names. Paul Bell, he was signed at one point. Brett Willenberg, he's down in Cape Town. Nicholas Dempsey, he's in Johannesburg. Anthony Phillips, who's a guy who's similar age as me, who signed way before me. He signed at the age of 16 with Seattle Mariners. So there's been a lot of guys that signed before me. I would be I guess I would be the first Black South African to sign first in 2008. And that's as far as I could guess. But I'm not. Don't quote me on it, but yeah.
And I mean, just tell us a bit about that. I mean, that must have been a massively emotional. I mean, your mom must have been over the moon. Your brother. I mean, it was a huge moment for you.
Yeah, I mean, it was all kinds of emotions. I was excited that I get to, now be one step closer to my dream of playing in the MLB, in Major League Baseball one day, and my mother was happy but sad at the same time, and she didn't understand what was really going on until I had to like sit her down and explain everything to her and be like, listen, I'm gonna go away for like 10 months of the year, and then I'll come back home every single year and come see you and everything. And it was hard because we were so close. We were, we had an unconditional loving mother and son relationship. So for me to leave her for that long, it had an effect on me throughout my journey. But knowing that I have her support and everything pushed me to do um, what I do every single day and get to the major leagues and provide for my family.
Yeah, well, you certainly do that. 2009 came around and you represented South Africa at the World Baseball Classic. Again, another big moment for you.
Yeah, anytime representing for my country is a big honor for me. I enjoy the atmosphere, the thrill, wearing the green and gold and going out there and showing what your country can do in a platform like that is one of the most amazing things. And you cannot explain the thrill that and excitement that goes through you when you go out there, because you know that each game that you go into is a do or die game. There's no like we have like in baseball we have 162 games in the Major League Baseball season, and you can kind of like, okay, yeah, we are 80 and 40 right now, so we're doing okay, so let's just keep pushing, making strides. No, this is do or die. Like, you got to win this game or it affects the next one. So I just love that kind of atmosphere and playing for my country.
I mean, baseball is an amazing sport. I mean, you guys play, what, about 4 or 5 games one day after the other. It's full on.
Yeah, I mean, the minor league season, you start at 60, and then you get to all the way to AAA. Well, high A, AAA is when you play 140 games in the season, and then the major leagues obviously play 162 plus playoffs. So it's a lot of games in a short little time. We get like one day a break a month, so you pretty much practicing every single day and playing every single day.
And 27th of April 2017 just happened to be Freedom Day, but it also happened to be another special day for you.
Yes, it was. It was a very special day for me. Words cannot describe April 27th of 2017. I played in my head every single day till this moment. And it's just, you had to be there to live that moment with me in order to experience everything that I had experienced in my life.
Yeah. And tell me, was it a step up from the sort of the players that you had been playing against prior to this? The sort of pitches, was it much faster, much harder? Was it like, wow, this is, I've arrived and now this is the real thing?
Yeah, I mean, being up there was, you're playing against guys that you watched when you were a little kid, and now you're playing with them and you're like, I'm playing with the same guys as I used to like look up to and stuff like that. So, I mean, the playing level of the major league, of being in the big leagues, is very, very, very good. I mean, you're getting the best of the best all around the world, and you facing the best on a regular basis. And obviously they know how to pitch better. They know how to hit their spots better, where they want to throw the ball and how they want to throw it. The hitters are better. The guys that have won MVPs, the Silver Slugger awards and stuff like that. So the competition is way above what I've been before, prior to making my major league debut. And growing up, obviously I faced some of the guys that also made their debuts and also ended up being in the big leagues for a long time. They already have 2-3 years under their belts. So it was good competition, but you know what? You just got to have fun and ride the wave.
Yeah, and I mean, you certainly have ridden that wave. Gift, you've obviously your strength is your batting. In terms of pitching, what do you have?
Defense, defense. I'm more known as a defensive guy than an offensive guy.
Okay. But in terms of like fast balls or curve balls or any of that, what do you prefer, or do you not? Do you just hit whatever comes your way?
I'll say offensively, I'm a fastball hitter, and a lot of people in the league know me as a fastball hitter. So anytime you throw me a fastball, I'm gonna do damage to it. It's the curveballs and the sliders that I had a problem with back in my days. I didn't know how to adjust to it. Um, there's a lot of a lot of things in baseball that comes into play when you're hitting. Trying to see the ball out of the pitcher's hand or picking the rotation of the ball mid-air and still trying to time yourself with the pitcher and make a decision to hit a ball is almost impossible. Not impossible, but like close. I mean, and then you have a round ball with the round bat, and then you got to square the ball up. It's like, yeah, it's difficult. And obviously you don't know what the pitcher's going to throw to you. You can anticipate what he's going to throw to you. And the fastball is the straightest one. Every pitcher has a fastball, whether it be, 62 miles an hour or 95 to 105 miles per hour. He has a fastball. So you set yourself to hitting a fastball at all times, and then you adjust to all the other stuff, the change ups, the curveballs, the sliders. So.
Okay. And Gift, maybe just explain it a little bit. What's the difference between being an offensive batter and a defensive batter?
You mean defensive player and offensive player?
Sorry, yeah.
So offensive player is a guy that knows how to hit. He's there. They know that he hits balls, and his average is always high. Like a Mike Trout. Everybody in the world knows him as an offensive guy because he puts up the numbers offensively. A defensive guy, which is a guy like me, I'm more of, I will be productive with my bat. You're not really going to rely on me with the bat, to do big things. Whatever I do offensively is a plus. Defensively, you know that I'm going to catch the ball and get the guys out for you. So that's more of the offensive and versus the defensive side of a player.
Okay. And then in November 2017, you were traded to the Toronto Blue Jays. Tell us a bit about that.
Yeah, I mean, I was down in South Africa. I just did this, the sports awards just before that. And I got a call while I was laying in bed one day, and the Pirates player development guy called me, and he was like, "Yo, listen, I got some news for you that you're no more going to be a Pirate. You are now traded off to the Blue Jays." So that's how I got notified. And then a couple of minutes later, it was all over social media. And then, yeah, I was now a Blue Jay. I was, happy about the move. Was new opportunities. So I got there, and I broke with the team in spring training to make the opening day roster.
Yeah. And I mean, tell us, is sort of the trading of players not very similar to football, where the sort of players have a choice in terms of where they're going? Do the clubs just say, okay, you're being traded to club X and you need to go, and that's it?
Pretty much that's how it is. Yeah, most of the players get told, listen, you're going to this club right now, as in like pack your bags, you're leaving. They don't give you like, a heads up or anything. So baseball is just one of those unpredictable sports where you could be in New York at this minute and then you have a flight to catch in 2 hours to fly to, Texas.
Yeah.
And you're gonna play for Texas, and then you get to Texas, and then you play there for like a month or two, and then you get traded to, you know, Miami. So like baseball, you can bounce around a lot. Only a specific few have a no trade clause in it, like the football players do.
Yeah.
So you can't trade them without them knowing or without them agreeing to it. So only if you have big contracts, the multi-million contracts, the Stantons, the Trouts, they have those kind of contracts. But yeah, now a regular guy like me, you're getting sent off, and good luck.
So it's quite cutthroat. Huh? Gift, you go and play for Sydney Blue Sox for part of the year, and then you obviously go back to the States again. What sort of does the future hold for Gift? Where do you believe your career is going from now?
My career right now, I'm just trying to get some opportunity to play this year. Possibly next year, try and get back to the major leagues or affiliated ball. If that doesn't happen, then I will look at other ways in maybe becoming a coach, and all the knowledge that I've learned over the years, over the 12 years that I've been playing, I could pass it on to others. It could either be here in the United States, be in Australia as a development guy, or be in South Africa developing our South African kids out there, all Africa. I'm trying to work a plan where I can bring baseball in South Africa up, and give it a little bit of a boost, so that kids that are coming up now get a better chance and get seen, from scouts and everybody to go to America and play ball. So my dream is to give every single kid in Africa a believe and hope that they can make it with the opportunity that they can get. So hopefully my goal to do that, to uplift baseball in Africa, becomes real.
Well, I mean, you certainly are an ambassador for the sport and an ambassador for South Africa. And I believe there's a Netflix documentary coming out about you as well.
Showmax.
Showmax.
Showmax. Yes, Showmax. The one on Netflix. Me and the guy, there's a big, thing around it that, the guy just put it up on Netflix. So yeah, that's another story for another day. But the one that's coming up on Showmax online comes out June 15th, which I'm very excited about. It tells my whole story from, where I was born in Limpopo, how I came about going to Randburg, my journey in Randburg, and also, my baseball journey until I made the big leagues and everything like that.
Well, I mean, Gift, you certainly have had an unbelievable journey, as you say, from Limpopo to Randburg to the United States of America and the biggest baseball platform in the world.
Yeah, I've
certainly
had quite a
proud.
journey. I've had quite a journey, and it's been nothing but a blessing. I mean, I if I could redo it, I'd do it all over again, knowing that I could go about it in the easier way. So yeah, everything that I've learned today, I wish I knew before,
Yeah.
and it would have been a little bit easier. And like just trying to tell myself, like, listen, kid, it's gonna happen. Just relax and enjoy, instead of pressing so much. When I was younger, I was trying to push so much that I kind of put what's the words I'm looking for now? I put so much pressure on myself, undue pressure and stress on myself, that I end up going backwards instead of moving forward. So yeah, it's been a journey that I can now tell everybody and I can share my story and be like, listen, I've been there, I've done it. This is how you go about it. Just my 2 cents in order to help you with your journey, in order to make it more successful.
I mean, just in closing, if that has been quite a common theme in the interviews that I've been doing with a lot of you sports greats, is the pressure that you guys put on yourselves. And in hindsight, it would have been easier if you didn't, and you would have maybe performed at a higher level. But I suppose it's a key learning and key lessons you can pass on to the youth.
Yeah, definitely. You got to go through all that in order to experience what to do in a pressure situation. If I hadn't learned all that and everything came about easy for me, then I would be like, you know what, I didn't really, I made it. I spent 3 years in the minor leagues and made it to the major leagues, but that's not how my life was planned out. My life was planned out to have all these struggles, to know that I was, 1 in a billion out of, Africa to make it to the major league. So I had to go through these hardships in order to tell my story the way that people will understand that, listen, this guy from Africa came from Limpopo, where there's maybe a little bit of baseball in Limpopo now. I don't know if there was baseball back then. I know Limpopo is a huge softball province, but to come out of Limpopo and make it onto the big stage is and going through that as athletes, going through all those pressure moments is something that is, it makes you stronger as a person.
Yeah, no, without doubt. Gift, thank you so much for joining us today on Sport SA Daily Diary. It's been an absolute pleasure having you and hearing your story. And we look forward to seeing the documentary coming in Showmax in a few days.
Awesome. I can't wait for people to see it June 15th. Don't forget. It'll be on Showmax online. And, you can watch my story, and hopefully I can touch people's lives and change people's lives by, what they see, and they can learn a whole lot.
Yeah, no doubt. Good. Thanks very much.
Thank you very much.
Yes. Don't miss tomorrow's episode of Sport SA Daily Diary. We'll be chatting to a young man who'll be representing South Africa at the Olympics in skateboarding.